Hello everyone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, warlocks and demons. It's me, Kuba, the creator of Project Warlock and Project Warlock 2 here, with another live stream. And I have a guest today. We have David. He's our main artist in Project Warlock and Project Warlock 2. Hello, David.
Hello, everyone.
And we also have our director, Anno.
What's up,
he's
guys?
Responsible for the content you guys see on the screen.
Or you don't see.
It depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Sometimes some things happen and yeah, but whatever. I am very excited to talk about some more details about the game. However, I want to kick off the stream with some gameplay and small talk about what you guys played since last week, because I was playing Blood. I actually finished Blood today, and I had some couple of new inspirations which I implemented into the game, and I really want to talk about this too. So yeah, you can watch our streams every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central European Time, and we are streaming, as I said, every week. So if you happen to miss the previous streams, you can watch them uploaded on YouTube, I guess, and here on Twitch.
Yes.
So
they are all uploaded but the next day. It's not always the same day that we upload on YouTube. It's the next day.
Yeah, so today we are going to talk about some level design and art style, but before we get into that, I really want to show you some of the gameplay. So let's have a look at Project Warlock 2. So here we are. I think everything is on the screen, right, Enno?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So here we have the one of the levels. It's like in the middle of the game, and we already have some weapons unlocked. So I'm just going to play the game and show you how it looks like right now. So as you can see, actually, let me go to the settings and put the audio back on. Just let me know if it's not too loud.
All good, all good.
Okay, so as you can see,
maybe a little bit too much.
Okay.
Yeah, you came out from the settings and it just blasted.
Okay, let me put it at 30. Let's put it at 30.
It should be good.
Okay, you can pick the crosshairs, anything you want in the settings. I've made 15 presets, and I also implemented a weapon bob type switching, so you can have a weapon which bobs more like Doom, and you can also have a weapon which bobs more like in Return to Castle Wolfenstein, because I really like that, and we have that here. So let's go.
Oh god, you went crazy on screen.
So there we go. That was the first encounter in this part of the game. And I think we are getting some more monsters here.
Yeah, that's Doom Eternal weapon switching.
So there is weapon switching, which is quite useful in this game, actually, right now. And it really profits when you switch the weapons very quickly in some encounters. And I'll try to survive this one because I think it's pretty hard now.
Oh, that's the one that is brutal, yeah.
But I have two harvesters, so I can really do some real damage here. Okay, so we managed to survive it, because actually I'm not playing on the highest difficulty, and I think that's the reason. Oh, I almost died there because of the knight and his rocket launcher. So you really gotta watch out, because sometimes it's really hard to keep track of every single enemy, and if you just don't look around, then you might die instantly. So, and those hit scanners here are pretty nasty, and I just died.
And you died.
R.I.P.
So I'm not the best player in the world. I want to say that from the beginning. So that's the reason why I died.
Just one fun fact. Can you respawn and show us how many monsters are, because this is normal, right?
Yes, that was the standard difficulty.
Can you show us how many monsters are on normal compared to hard? In one level, just compared to Warlock 1 actually. Because that's the insane aspect.
But wait, Anno, you want me to compare the
Yeah, just go on hard. Yeah, just go on hard.
Okay, okay.
Because that's the mind blown I was getting. And just show us how many monsters are on this level.
Oh my god.
I think it's in the hundreds.
This is just insane. There's so much stuff on the screen. Can you show us the map counter? How many monsters are on the level actually?
Yeah, I can do that too. Let's go ahead and take a look. So I loaded again this save with on the hard difficulty. And there you go. So on the auto map, you have in the left bottom corner, you can see kills, 90 out of 370. So
are you joking me?
Yes, and also as you can see, the auto map really shows is very helpful for the game. So there you go. And yeah, so that was the intro I guys wanted to make to show off a little bit of gameplay, and we are going to play a little bit also at the end of the stream. But before that, I really want to actually start talking with David about the level design, and I think we're going to move to the editor screen, so that you can guys see what we're up to and maybe some differences. I'm going to switch the windows now, so please.
If something falls apart, you know, we can always escape.
Okay. David, what do we have here? We have something which looks really familiar, right?
Oh yeah. Although I rarely seen the Project Warlock 1 from this perspective, because I didn't have the editor tools back then. I was only sending you the graphics.
Yeah, so basically in Project Warlock it was a bit different because I basically designed the levels in the editor myself, and I was supplied by David and Ian with the design of the levels and the textures. So this is something that David does not really know that well, but in Project Warlock 2 this has changed around, and now David is actually working on the levels himself. So I'm very happy with that, because this is what I wanted to show you guys, the comparison between what we have here and what we have in Project Warlock 2, because thanks to David we have an awesome improvement in this area. And I think this is something you guys might remember from the medieval episode. It's the third castle level. So it's like one of those levels where you have this little open area which you can go through, and you have those windows. So it was one of those more opened areas, however not as open as the industrial levels. But if we now switch to Project Warlock 2, however, we have a slight change in the geometry, right, David?
You could have shown more of that level, so we could have a comparison how flat it was.
Yeah. Okay. So where do you want me to actually go now? So
the previous level, from the first game.
Okay, let's go back
to a bigger area, so we can see how flat it was.
Yes, exactly. It's completely
move
flat.
up and let's have a bird's eye view.
Okay,
so
this
like
is the
this.
level.
Like this. Pretty simple.
Yeah, you have.
I'm terribly sorry, but
detail,
something is bugging out today with my screen capture, and I'm really sorry, guys. If the thing you see on stream just randomly pops out of place, I'm terribly sorry. It's not me, it's the software. Something is wrong today, but I'm switching it, you know, and fixing it on the place. So guys, keep your topic. I'm really sorry. I'm just dropping a disclaimer that something is not right today.
Okay.
No worries.
We're fine. Yeah, so this is the bird's eye view you David wanted to show.
Oh yeah, so it was interesting because, for example, when I was supplying the textures, I had no idea how they were gonna come up in the game. So I had to wait for a build or for screenshots from Cuba, so I could see how my graphics actually turn out.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting thing because it was, so to say, way harder to work on the game. But without the initial knowledge, we didn't have, let's say, we didn't have as much knowledge as we have now. And I think it's you can see the difference easily, right?
Okay, we can switch back to the second game now.
Okay, all right. So here we are.
And let's have some more bird's eye view too, because you can't really see it from this perspective. Maybe
Actually,
turn off the fog.
Yeah, I'll turn off the fog. I think that's the fog here. So yeah, this is only part of the level. So it's not really the whole level, but as you can see, it's already way bigger than this whole level here, right? So when it comes to the size,
maybe let's have a side view so we can see the verticality.
Actually, let me. So, okay, this is not a good idea, but if we take a look here at, for example, at this part of the level, because this is I think this is this is actually one of my favorite parts of any level in Project Warlock 2, because it's so vertical. You have so many different textures, and it's all looking very jungly, and it's just so complex. How did you come up with that idea, actually, David, for this area?
Well, it's coming up with. It's not hard to come up. It's hard to actually realize it, because I was using a new tool. It's called real-time CSG, and it's really different from ProBuilder, which we were using previously. So I had to learn a completely new workflow, how to utilize it, how to make it work with the art assets that we have, and how to be efficient with it, because the way I did it, maybe I will show some other time how actually I go about making the levels.
I think we'll have a stream designed for that, so that you can guys see how a level is created in real time, maybe. I think that's a really good idea.
I won't go into details right now. Let's just say it's. I came up with a method that looks like a building with bricks or with Legos. Just
the Minecraft building.
Sort of.
Let's take a look.
Sort of.
Yeah, so you have this is how it looks. I think this building is a prefab, right?
Yeah, it's not exactly a prefab, but it's you can copy it and paste it, because this is made. It's made from many little objects that are treated as one object. So if you duplicate it, it will. Yeah, you can do more of them, and you could nicely merge them into a bigger structure, like make a bigger house from smaller houses, and then just edit the details.
Yeah, so let me see that here. I have this house selected, and as you can guys see, you can just copy it and then paste it and rotate it any way we want. It just really depends on. I don't know this tool as good as David. So we
will come to that eventually.
Yeah, but you can actually rotate those where it's here. Also, the pivot point is here for some reason. But...
Yeah, it's weird like this. It has some quirks. You have to work around them. Maybe it's an old version. Yes, it's still being updated. So I might need to check the updates.
Okay, so I think. Let's talk about the biggest advantages over ProBuilder compared to CSG, because this is what were the reasons that we actually changed from ProBuilder to the CSG, because actually in the beginning of Project Warlock 2 I think we were still using ProBuilder, right?
Oh yeah,
from what I can remember.
We have even some prototype levels made in ProBuilder. Well, ProBuilder is nice. It's easy to prototype a level with it, but making intricate spaces, the hardest part about it is making multiple entrances to rooms. Because making a set of corridors is fairly easy. You make a room, you make a corridor, you go to another room, make another corridor. That's easy pro builder. But then when you want to make a second entry to a room or a corridor, or a third one or a fourth one, and you want to make it more complex, you have to manually cut out all the holes and then weld them together. So it becomes very, very tenuous, and the more complex it gets. With CSG, there's no problem like this, because you can very, very easily make very, very complex structures. I won't be explaining how exactly it works right now, because it will be easier to just show it, and maybe we'll do this next time or some other time.
Yeah, so we used ProBuilder in Project Warlock, and it's a very good tool for making simple geometry.
Simple, yes.
And I think it was a good tool, but however, working with CSG, from what I have noticed, is way faster, and just like David said, adding different entrances to rooms makes everything that much easier, and really adjusting the flow of the level is also simple, because the walls, so to say, are not welded together, and you can move them around. So let's say you can just show it. Yes, take a piece of the level and just move it around. Yeah, so if for example this is too low, I can actually just move it around and place it somewhere else, so we can actually adjust everything.
You can delete it.
I can delete it, and then there is no entrance. So
there's a solid wall.
There's a solid wall.
You cannot do this in ProBuilder. That's the main reason.
Yeah, so
in ProBuilder you would have to manually draw a shape, then cut it out, and then manually connect the corridor with the room, which takes ages.
Yeah,
especially if the geometry is complex.
Now with 2 clicks, I just deleted the whole corridor for this part of the level.
You can select a whole room, duplicate it, and just make the room bigger.
Yeah, so as you can guys see now, I just doubled this room in size, and I think this is the biggest advantage of CSG.
Yeah, pretty much magic.
Yeah, the way it works is very interesting, because I haven't quite seen something like this anywhere else. Maybe, I'm not really sure, but let's talk about maybe technicals a bit. CSG uses something which is called a brush, right?
Yeah.
And brush is basically like a part, for people who don't know what this is. Brush is basically like a part of a model or a mesh, or how would you call it, to let people understand how it actually
a Lego
works.
brick.
Okay, let's say it's a Lego brick, right? So you can use those brushes to build a model together, and you can have a couple of models. You can actually have a lot of models, but you can actually make complex stuff like this, and you can adjust them very easily. So this is actually the biggest advantage in this plugin, so to say. And we are using it really for every single level. It's very, very optimized. It works really well. It does not make any, so to say, performance issues like ProBuilder, where I have to admit, in ProBuilder it is way harder to optimize the levels, because I found out that building the levels with these brushes allows the occlusion cooling to work way better in CSG than in
that means that the game is not rendering things that you don't actually see.
Yeah, so let me show you guys that. So for example,
easy on the technical terms.
Yeah, you gotta guys keep me, Enno and David, you gotta keep me away from speaking too many technical details here, because I really like to get into that stuff.
Well, I'm sorry, I've fallen asleep when you were talking too much about technical stuff. Nah, I'm joking.
Keep it simple.
So let's keep it simple. Here is the level from Project Warlock, and as you can see, this is its size. It's very simple. But if I click it, actually the whole floor is one model, and the whole walls are also a separate model, and it does have a lot of negative issues. There are some issues with that, so to say. In Project Warlock 2, however, even though the level is humongous, those brushes allow the engine to, so to say, disable them when you cannot see them. And in Project Warlock, the camera had to render everything always, so that had also a huge impact on performance. And right now we don't have that. So if you're, let's say, here, only this part of the level is rendered. So I think this is one of the biggest advantages.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think, David, you also mentioned we created some previously some Pro Builder levels, right? Just at the beginning.
Yeah, I think those are the demo levels.
So would you like to show any of them to show the comparison of the geometry? Even though it was also complex, I really want to show the difference because it's easily noticeable.
Okay, let's start with the level demo.
Without the number, right?
Yeah, without the number. I think.
Okay. Okay, let's take a look. So.
Oh yeah, this is not the first. This is not the first level I made with for the game. This was made with Pro Builder, and it was already going to be really more and more difficult to add details to it and to expand on it, because the more details I have added, the more complex the geometry was going to be, and modifying it in any way was becoming more and more tedious. So we would have to keep the levels relatively small and compact in order to not get lost with it. Also, one more thing that is better in CSG. In Pro Builder, it was very hard to keep consistent resolution of textures, because sometimes when you scaled. Yeah, sometimes when you scaled objects, you had no control whether the textures scaled along with the object, or did they remain the same size and just repeated the texture.
So there was a lot of stretching, right, on the textures?
Oh yeah, and there was a lot of stretching.
Oh no.
Take a look if I can find some stretching here.
And it was inconsistent too. If it was consistent, I could maybe work with it, but sometimes it would stretch and sometimes it would just repeat the pattern. And I had no idea how to control this.
I can't see actually any stretching in this level. However, I understand that
it was inconsistent. So when it happened, I just redid the thing until it didn't stretch. So I wouldn't leave any stretched out textures in the level. So so you might have a hard time finding one here. Well, but this was not the biggest problem. Was adjusting the geometry to make entrances and connecting corridors with levels and making huge changes. Like if I wanted to make a room bigger or change the shape of it, I think I would have to have more things planned out. And with CSG, I can just start working and just make the level and just see what happens.
I just wanted to show you guys that, for example, this entrance here is actually, this is a whole merged object right now. I'm not sure if you can reverse that, but it's currently impossible in this form of this geometry to move this entrance like 1 meter to the right or 1 meter to the left, right?
Well, you could do it, but you have to move other parts of the geometry as well, and you have to be very, very careful what are you selecting, because if you mess up, you need to know how it works. You would have to probably disable CSG to edit this one.
I think all I have to do here is... I'm not sure if there is a tool to... no, it's already merged, so you cannot actually edit that anymore.
Next time I will be showing my screen. I can I can show a bit of how it works. It might be easier.
In next stream, we are going to actually talk a little bit in more detail about that, because David will have the chance to show how he works with the levels, so that you can guys better understand everything.
So now we will just show around.
Yeah, we're just showing around, just giving you a small impression of how the game changed. So for those of you who just joined the stream, what you can see right now is an old, so to say,
prototype
level of Project Warlock 2. And as you can also see, the art style is way different than it is currently in Project Warlock 2.
Yeah, it was all placeholder textures.
Yeah, placeholder textures, and we also were trying to find the new style for the 3D 3D style of the game, so to say, because we really wanted to keep that original art style but make it a bit better. So this is why we then improved that a lot, right? So are there any other demo levels which you would like to show show the differences? I think.
Well, you can try the level demo too.
Okay, let's.
I think that was. Oh yes, this was made in ProBuilder as well. So yeah, I made. The idea was here to make a set of floating islands with fortresses and towers. So this in itself is ProBuilder is actually pretty good in making this kind of geometry. But then when it came to adding details and interiors of these towers, you can actually zoom in to the inside. Well, it's much harder. Whoa, it looks like dusk.
Yeah, it's pretty simple here, right?
Well, it's probably because dusk also was made with ProBuilder.
Yeah, that's true. From what I know, it was made with ProBuilder.
So yeah, we created sometimes similar effects because
yeah,
this was
true.
similar.
But so to say, I really like the concept of this level. Floating islands is pretty cool. It really looks
I will try to recreate this idea at some point, but I had to, while I was working with the levels, I had to learn the CSG in the same time. So there were many things I wasn't able to do at first. So now
this is the first demo level with CSG, right? So I think
I was testing out shapes and tools. It is pretty simple.
And it's also, I think it also was quite fast to make, right? So
yeah, relatively. Well, I was still learning how to place all these objects and how they work and how they interact with each other.
Yeah, so actually here I can show that here, but right, if I want to move something, it's so simple. All you gotta do is just move these brushes around, and you can really redesign this whole room very fast.
You can select this whole room and duplicate it with the columns, with the stairs.
You can do anything, and this is the best thing about CSG. It allows us to make levels better, faster.
Yeah. Oh, you can. We were talking about multiple entrances. You can show how easy it is to add another entrance to the level in a different place.
I think. Where would you like me to show?
Like, I don't know, take one corridor and just make a new entrance in
so let's
another
take a
wall.
Look here. So we have this circular room with this interesting construction, and we have two entrances, right? We have one entrance here and one here. So if we want to expand this level very fast, all we gotta do is just copy this prefab here and move it here, for example, and bam, you have another entrance. So this is very cool. I really like that. It works really well, and it's really very simple, and you can adjust everything on the fly. So that's very good, and it allows us to work faster and better with making the game. However, I think so. That was the first CSG level you have uploaded. And here we have the second one. Already the geometry is a bit different. The level is already more complex. So this is already getting to the point, almost to the complexity at which we have right now, right? So you're here already trying to make interesting big geometry with cool designs, and
Yeah,
really
this
like
was very Quake inspired.
yeah, so it's a very dark room, you know, a lot of verticality also, as you can see, some abstract constructs and everything. So that's
Very moody atmosphere.
that's what we have in this demo. I think, you know what, for kicks we can sometimes maybe publish these levels when the game comes out as a secret to find or something, and fill them up with monsters to have some fun. Yeah, let's go and now show the geometry in some other levels, maybe, to show the difference, because now we have seen first we've seen the third level of the game. Now we've seen some Pro Builder concepts. Then we've seen the first CSG concept, and now let's show something else. So which level you're most proud of, David?
Ooh, most proud of. I'm still learning this level, so saying I'm proud of them, at this moment I would probably make them better, and I still trying to improve them. But let's try level 4, for example.
Okay, that's a good level. That's a good one. I really like it. It has a very interesting geometry, and I love the abstract aspects of this level, which are totally awesome and really are very interesting. So, as you can see, this is not the whole level, right? It goes way down. It's pretty big, and it's very vertical. So there's a lot of stuff happening here. Let me just disable objects here. Okay, so what do we have here? We have some ruins. We have some caves. We have a lot of different interesting things happening here. So let's take a look at this complex geometry. We have some trees, or we have some abstract, you know, stones and everything. It's all looking very, very interesting, and it's all underground. So there's a little bit of story to that too. However, you have even big shrooms and everything. So geometry is now way more complex than ever before. We are really trying our best here, and I have to say I really like it. It just looks good, it feels good, and it's just huge.
It's one of the levels where I was trying to make it a bit more open. So you have alternative routes where you can go. It's non-linear, but some of this non-linearity is hidden in secret places. So you have to figure out how to do it. And right now you can even miss one of the weapons if you if you don't find it. I think we'll be fixing that.
I think what we'll do instead is we'll add this weapon at the start of the next level, so that.
Although I might already fix that, because I placed some walls and some locked out some passages, which will prevent you from progressing if you don't find the weapon.
Well, however, I think yes, I think you did that. But however, what David just mentioned is very important, and it's a very cool aspect of Project Warlock 2. The levels, you can complete them in a couple of ways. What I mean by that is, if you find some secrets on some levels, you can actually find new ways of playing the level, which I really like. And if you know the level pretty good, then you can have a go at it with a different flow, so to say. You can go to different places if you find the secrets. So that's another cool aspect of the game and level design. That
yes, it's cool, but it also presents a problem, because sometimes when you go the other way around, you have to think about events that should normally trigger one after another, but when you go a different way, now you have to account for the fact that the monsters might not spawn, so you have to make them spawn, or some things have to happen if the player goes from a different direction to that place.
Yeah, so this is also, so to say, every feature we bring also bring some new issues, right? So for every new feature, you have a couple of bugs. In this case, every time we add a new path to the level, we really have to test it and play it through to make sure that if the player goes this way around instead of the original path, you can still trigger the keys, monsters, and find the relevant objects to finish the level, because it makes no sense if player could go a different way and then he can't do anything because the key doesn't spawn or something, right? Or he cannot get to the key, which is a very crucial aspect, and we're really working on that to make it work.
It's always an act of balancing, because the level has to be interesting, but it cannot be so complex that it starts falling apart.
Yeah, if you go too complex, that might not be too good, because the players might
with
frustrate.
The size of the level. I'm trying out more open spaces, but they look cool. But in the same time, it's more difficult to fill them with details and make them look complete and polished, and not just like big square blocks of prototype concepts.
But actually, to add detail, I also noticed it's not really that hard, because what is actually detail in a level? Because what I think makes the levels look nice and detailed are these small features, like these single stones here, or these little stairs, so to say. So with stuff like that, every time you add something like this, it really makes the level look better. And I have to admit, David, I really like how this space here is detailed. It has a lot of cool decorations. It looks interesting. I cannot say it's empty, because it does not look empty.
Yes,
nice.
This doesn't look. What I can say about it is, level cannot look unfinished. And what I mean by that, I noticed that something looks unfinished when there are, for example, too much single texture in one place. Like
That's true.
So this is something that really helps if, for example, textures are layered, or there are.
Yeah, so basically...
Yeah.
I think that the lightning system and like the weather system, like fog or rain, for example, makes for a great filler too. Because when there is not much you can add to have more details in the room, for example, you can always make it more dark with few lights coming from the wall or from the chandelier or something, and instantly the player doesn't notice that, oh, this room is half empty. No, this room is half lit.
Although sometimes you want to have a level that looks empty, because
that's true.
you want for example, you want a level that looks like a desert. It has to be empty.
You cannot make a full desert, right?
Yeah, but you have to be selective about it. So that's also a balancing act.
Yeah, so also a completely new feature compared to Project Warlock, which I just actually found out by clicking on the effects. We now have something called Emission Maps, which Project Warlock did not have. And this is a very cool thing, which you can actually explain, David.
It means that textures can glow. For example, the lights on the walls, you can make them brighter, so when you can show it off by turning down. I don't know if the ambient lighting is up and down. Make it brighter.
Right.
You can make it brighter to show off. How does it look when it doesn't glow? This is how it looks when it doesn't glow, and this is how it looks in the dark. So
So even though it's completely dark, you can still see parts of the textures.
Also, it doesn't apply only to the lights, because all the texture glows a little bit. So in a complete darkness, it will always be visible. So you will never be
like
left completely in the dark.
Like an Instagram filter.
You could say that.
No, not at all like an Instagram filter.
Because
this is
it
more...
works on a whole level, right?
Yes.
let me. Oh, that's too dark.
What we could say is an instant. Oh, here is how it looks with an emission map turned off.
Wow, that's a huge
No, this
difference.
is fog.
Yeah,
This is something else. This is fog. You would have to go to the texture settings to disable the emission
Yeah,
map.
that's true. Let me find the atlas. It's E1M4 atlas material. Let me show you guys, because I think this is also another good way of showing how it works. So if I disable the emission map, look at that. Doesn't that look flat? It looks flat, right? It's like
Although it would work, but it just needs a different kind of lighting.
And from what I can see, this is another atlas, right?
Yeah, yes. There are multiple materials around here, so different materials have different values of emission.
Okay, so I think I found a way to show that the best way. So let's take a look again. Yes, look. So this is the ambient color turned all the way up. And this is what happens if we lower the ambient to 0.
Yeah, you can do that too.
So it's everything is black, right? But now if we go to the material and we enable our emission maps, ta-da! This is how it looks like. It's very climatic. It looks like
the sprite decorations, like the lamps, also have their own emission maps.
Yeah, so as you can
control
see,
that too.
The lamps are also detailed in that regard. This is the material of the world, so when I'm toggling it, as you can see, the walls get black and everything else stays lit. But the emission maps also apply to monsters and their features like eyes, and this is also something we want to talk about briefly, because we actually don't have a lot of time now to talk extensively about that, but we will also talk about monsters in the future. So I think, what do you think, David? While we're talking about the emission maps, we could also show how it works on monsters, right?
Sure.
So
let's go.
I think the first monster which actually has this feature, and it looks really good, is I think it's the ghoul, but
I think the imp would be better.
You think imp? I also thought about imp, but I thought, maybe ghoul. Okay, let's see.
Imp has the projectile attack, and it also glows when it attacks, so it's more visible. Also, his weapon glows.
So let me put him here now, and I have to disable the view of these hitboxes and everything, so that.
Or we could just show it in game.
You think in game, but how will I toggle between the emission maps when playing to show the difference? Okay, but we can play, no problem, no biggie. Let's go E1M1, the map you guys know already. I'll just start off and let's take.
You could pause the game and.
True. That's true. So since we're in the editor and there will be no sound, but we are talking about the graphics, so we will also get to talk about the sounds and everything that comes with it in the future, because there is also a lot of cool stuff. And if you guys have good ears, then you probably already heard the difference in the first seconds of the gameplay which I presented. But let's actually kill those here, and let's get this imp here. So let's make her attack. Okay, I got it. So
yeah, you can see her eyes glowing and the gun glowing.
Yeah, so
also
the tip of the barrel glows yellow.
Also, even though it's pretty dark, the imp is also more visible than it should be in this shadow.
I think I'll switch her emission maps off to show you guys the difference, because you can't really say there are no words which can explain how that.
Yeah, this is how it should look like in complete darkness with no emission.
So this is the difference, right? And I think it adds a lot of cool detail to the game, and it really makes it that much better. So here we have that, and yeah, this is the emission map. It makes eyes, weapons, and parts of the bodies glow of the monsters we want. So, for example, the ghoul also has glowing eyes, and other monsters also have glowing parts on their bodies and armor, and it really gives us that possibility to make the game feel, even though we are using sprites to make it feel more deeper, more 3D, right? And this is what we actually wanted to achieve, to make sprites feel like they're connected to the world and not just like flat, so to say, cardboards, right?
Yeah, because working with sprites in a 3D environment and also with lighting, it's tricky. It's hard to make it still look like everything belongs in this world.
Yeah, so as you can see, for example, items, we made so that they are always
Bright.
And thanks to that, you can always find them easily. And actually, at the beginning, I was a bit concerned about that, because I thought that maybe because they are always bright, it would be very hard to make them look nice. But I have to say, they look really nice when they're on the floor. They don't look out of place.
Sometimes visibility is a very important factor. So, for example, I would like the levels to be much darker and to have parts when it's completely pitch black. And it would look really nice, but it doesn't always play nice when you can't see a thing.
You really have to think about the gameplay and the visual design, so to say, because we don't want to frustrate the player with bad design. Because from what I can remember in Project Warlock, we had this issue where everything was too dark, and let's say we had this magic spell to emit light, but a lot of players were frustrated by that, so we adjusted that. And we really want to also make sure that we do not really make the same mistake here. And to improve on that, we are using the emission maps, we are using different environment colors and everything. And
yeah, we're also experimenting with metallic maps, so we can see, for example, the floors are shiny.
Let me actually make that bigger. So
and different kinds of materials are more rough. And they don't shine as much. We're still working on it to make it look right with the art style, which is important. We can't go too crazy with this, with all the effects. We always have to consider if it works with this art style. Although I think we can pull off this effect quite nicely. It just needs a bit of work.
Yeah, I also agree. I think what we need now is just a little bit of work, polishing, and again polishing, because this is the key to success.
A lot of polish.
Yeah.
A similar issue we have with, for example, the color palette. The whole screen has a post-process effect that makes it look more stylized and makes all the pixel art work much better, but it also removes some of the details. So we need to find a balance between style, so it looks retains that pixel art style, and also the visibility, because after some point it all looks you lose too much detail, too much color. This is for example how it looks without the filter, and this is how it looks with the filter. So we can also adjust the value, just like we could do in the first game. We also use
we're using the same effect for that. But it makes everything look much more cohesive and
because without it, if you throw some light or shadows on a pixel art texture, it makes it look like a wallpaper, like not on your screen but on your actual wall. It makes it look flat. You don't see stones, you don't see tiles, you just see that it's all drawn on a surface.
True.
But if you just reduce the color palette a bit and apply this filter, it all actually starts to look a lot better. You just need to find the balance, how much is enough and how much is too much.
Yes, so actually guys, I also in the beginning I mentioned that I wanted to also talk about the the game which I played recently, Blood. It's also obviously, but while playing Blood, I noticed a couple of interesting things when it comes to the weapon itself, and I actually went ahead and tried to, so to say, analyze what makes Blood such a cool game. And I found out that when the player moves, the weapon is also, so to say, not connected to the camera, and thanks to that, you can feel the movement. Hello, Baz Bear. It's nice to have you here on our stream. Hope you're gonna have fun with us. So, as I said, in Blood, there was this effect where the weapon was moving up and down every time you stepped on the steps.
There's a feeling of inertia. Yeah, it has some weight to it.
Yeah, exactly. And then I played some Return to Castle Wolfenstein, and I also noticed that weapons have this inertia. And then I actually thought to myself that actually every good game has this effect inside it. So Project Warlock already had the weapon bobbing, which I really like, but I decided that it's not enough. And together with weapon sway and weapon bobbing, I added this cool effect when you jump. So when you jump, the weapon moves up a bit, and when you fall down on the ground,
and also the camera.
Together with the camera, it makes this little crouching movement, which I think really adds a lot of depth to how the character feels. And to be honest, you cannot really explain how good this feels. You just have to see it for yourself and feel it. But look, if we have those stairs here, if I just go down the stairs, you can see how the weapon reacts to that. And it really adds that cool depth to the movement, which I really like.
You can actually explain it a little bit. Just try jumping without you know, using your knees.
Oh yeah. This is
true.
exactly how it felt in the game.
Yeah.
You don't notice it when it is there, but you notice it when it's gone.
Yeah, so
true.
try jumping without bending your knees, and then you can understand what Kuba is talking about.
So try jumping without bending your knees. Yeah, that could hurt a bit,
Yeah.
right?
These are the little things that really accumulate, and they add to each other during game. And they, for example, how fluid the movement is, and
Yeah.
things like that. They are very little things, but they have to be there, so it feels nice to just move around, to explore.
For example, we also have something
and-
which I added because of you, David. You sent me this cool idea of adding this camera smoothing when moving up the stairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see,
Oh yeah, I found it on Twitter.
look how cool it works. It's just awesome. The movements is so smooth. It's like butter, and it makes the game much more enjoyable. What were you saying?
I can't
David?
really
Because
see
I
it.
think,
My frame rate is pretty low, so I can't really see it. But I hope
Okay,
others can see it.
Wait, does that mean that what I'm showing right now looks crappy? Or...
Yeah, for the whole day we have some technical issues, Kuba.
Oh,
So it's not just me.
Yeah, it's not us. Everything just doesn't work correctly today, and I'm depressed. Really.
It's one of those days.
But I hope, guys, that you can at least see a little bit how the game looks like.
Yeah, we see. Just
So-
not in details when you
Well,
were moving in.
We were
showing the
afraid that
level,
we'll be spoiling too much by showing gameplay. So at least with the low quality, we don't have that problem.
Okay, let me put the field of view at 60 so that you can see more. But oh my god, I'm getting...
You know, this is actually how I usually play.
Really? Is this how you play?
Yeah, because I like to see the monsters up close when I blow them up.
That's true. If you use such a low field of view, you can see much more details in those animations. But to be honest, I'm very used to playing at high field of view, and every game I play, I always go to option settings and set it at minimum 105. So that I can play.
Also, my screen is pretty small, so that might be also a factor.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. How many? What's the size of your screen?
I don't know, 17
Oh
inches.
wait, that's not that small. That's not that small.
Is it a laptop
same.
screen?
Yeah. I use a
Oh.
laptop and a desktop. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's why. Okay. 17 is like a standard laptop screen, I do believe. No, 15 is a standard, so 17 is even bigger than a standard.
So yeah.
Yeah. So wait.
Well, I say it's small because for doing graphic design and art, I should be having at least 30 inches. So for the job I'm doing, I work on relatively small screens. So this is why.
As you can see, guys, the movement is so fluid through these tables. The camera does not jump up and down. It works very smoothly. But
yeah,
also,
it feels stuttery without it.
Yes. So one more thing to show before we finish for today, the weapon bob switch. So currently I'm using the Return to Castle Wolfenstein bob type. If I actually have to increase the bobbing amount so you guys notice it better. So if you played Return to Castle Wolfenstein, you must remember. I bet you remember how cool it feels when you walk around. So the weapon is bobbing almost exactly like in Return to Castle Wolfenstein. And this is how it looks like on the Doom setting, because I also like that. So I gave you guys the option to switch between that. So there we go. We have the Doom style weapon bobbing, and I really like it too. And I noticed that Blood also has the similar amount type of bob,
A more floaty one.
In Blood, it's like, I think it's like at 30 or 50%. So if you guys want to achieve some different bobbing effects, you can always adjust that in Project Warlock 2. You can play around with the amount of bob. You can always disable it if you don't like it. So, but I don't like it because it, as you can see right now, for me it feels not so dynamic anymore, right? So it looks very flat, so to say, and I really like that. So for me, weapon bob is one of the most important things. So there we go. Guys, I'm very happy to have you here. This was our 4th stream of Project Warlock 2. We talked a little bit about level design, about some monsters, about the textures. Today we had a guest, David, artist, on our stream, and I think we're done for today.
I think that David gonna come back to us and show us how the levels are done, right, David?
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, okay, that's really good.
You're stuck with me.
Or you're stuck with us.
Shit. But I'm very happy. I hope you guys like this stream that we streamed together. I had a lot of fun talking about everything here, and yeah, we're streaming next Thursday again. So make sure to come by next week. David is probably going to show some interesting stuff from his side. So there we go. We have a lot of interesting stuff to show you guys. If you like the stream, make sure to follow me on Twitter. Make sure to follow David on Twitter. Make sure to follow Luke from Absolute Audio and Jerry on Twitter. They are both here at watching the stream. It was awesome, guys, to have you here. Thank you very much, and I see you on the next one.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, David.
See you around.